Dayot Upamecano takes strong contract stance as Liverpool lurking for free transfer. Liverpool continues to be linked with a move for Dayot Upamecano, who is set to become a free agent next summer unless Bayern Munich can tie him down to a new contract. Dayot Upamecano has been linked with a move to Liverpool. Dayot Upamecano has reportedly made his wage demands clear to Bayern Munich as he continues to be linked with a move to Liverpool. The French international has emerged as a possible alternative to Marc Guéhi after the Reds failed to land the Crystal Palace defender, with the Eagles having pulled the plug on a deadline day move during the summer. Like Guéhi, Upamecano is set to be a free agent at the end of the current season, although Bayern are making efforts to try and tie him down to a new deal, albeit with no indication yet that he will extend his stay with the Bundesliga giants. Amid his ongoing links with Liverpool, Sky Germany's Florian Plettenberg has reported that Upamecano and his agent have now made their contract demands to Bayern clear. The Bavarian club's sporting director, Max Eberl, is said to be doing everything he can to try and get him to sign a new deal in Munich, with the French international and his representatives claiming to have presented their wage expectations to the club and left it up to them whether they make an improved offer. A new long-term contract is apparently on the table, but there is still no agreement regarding salary and other fees, with Liverpool said to be among the teams lurking. Dayot Upamecano's contract at Bayern Munich expires next summer. Links with Upamecano have grown as uncertainty remains over the future of his international teammate, Ibrahima Konaté, at Liverpool. The 26-year-old is also out of contract next summer, with talks over a new deal having stalled this year amid rumors of a move to Real Madrid. Upamecano himself has also been touted as an option for a move to the Bernabéu, although Eberl has made Bayern's stance clear. "I'm not surprised that many clubs are interested in Dayot Upamecano," Eberl told Sport Bild, via the Liverpool Echo. "We are also interested in extending his contract, and that takes a very, very long time. We are trying to convince him of the Bayern Munich project. We want to keep him." Liverpool.com says, "The Konaté, Guéhi, and Upamecano situations make for a potentially very interesting summer next year. All of the same clubs are being linked in the speculation surrounding the trio, Liverpool, Bayern, and Real Madrid, so the Reds could have their work cut out for them to land their preferred option. As things stand, that should still be Guéhi, and preferably with Konaté signing a new contract at Anfield. It is worth keeping an eye on Upamecano as well, if nothing else just because it would be hard to pass up signing a player like that for free." Liverpool and Tottenham tracking Antoine Semenyo amid clause talk. Semenyo has enjoyed a brilliant start to the season. Antoine Semenyo's rise as one of the Premier League's most exciting players has sparked growing curiosity around the terms of his Bournemouth contract, and whether a release clause could open the door to a major transfer. Semenyo has been in outstanding form, attracting serious attention from clubs including Liverpool and Tottenham Hotspur. Both sides are believed to be monitoring the situation closely as speculation builds over the existence and size of a potential buyout clause. Sources have insisted that Tottenham's intent is genuine, with the club eager to explore a possible deal. Liverpool's interest has also been growing. The situation is complicated by the fact that Semenyo signed a new contract with Bournemouth during the summer. Cherry sources have tried to keep a lid on further speculation around a future exit, previously hinting that no release clause was included. However, there has been a sense of skepticism around that stance in football circles, and rival recruitment departments are trying to uncover the full reality of his agreement. Semenyo's recent stats. Bournemouth are understood to be working to protect their position, aware that Semenyo's value continues to rise. Yet there are now reports that a clause could, in fact, exist. While nothing has been confirmed, our insiders believe the figure could fall in the region of £60 to £70 million. If that proves accurate, Bournemouth face a huge challenge to keep hold of their star man long-term. With Spurs and Liverpool both on alert, the race to uncover the truth behind Semenyo's contract has become one of the most intriguing storylines in the transfer world. Fresh Mohamed Salah transfer claim emerges as superstar wanted to leave. Mohamed Salah was linked with a move away from Liverpool earlier this year, but the Reds were able to secure the star's signature after a lengthy period of negotiations. Mohamed Salah has become a Liverpool legend. Former Roma sporting director Monchi has acknowledged he was unable to prevent Mohamed Salah's departure to Liverpool during the summer of 2017. However, the Spanish scout, who has since worked for Aston Villa, has revealed he managed to increase the transfer fee that the current Premier League champion ultimately paid for Egypt's skipper nearly 8 years ago. Monchi was brought to Rome by Giallorossi owner James Pallotta, with his appointment at the Stadio Olimpico receiving widespread praise due to his stellar reputation built during his time at Sevilla. Nevertheless, when Monchi arrived at the club, Salah had already decided on a switch to Anfield, where he would subsequently establish himself as one of the Premier League's all-time greats. Monchi has now revealed details about the negotiation process with Liverpool, maintaining he secured the optimal price for Salah, who moved to the Reds in June 2017. It was a magnificent year in 2018, Monchi told FlashScore. I insist, after having to sell Salah, Antonio Rudiger and Leandro Paredes, that is to say, having to make very important sales to finish third and semi-finalist in the Champions League, I think it was a magnificent success. Salah joined Liverpool from Roma. Selling Salah was necessary. When I arrived there, Salah was practically sold for €33 million plus a €3 million bonus. In the end, he was sold for 55, but there was already a commitment with the player. He wanted to leave and the only thing we could do was try to improve the price. You have to understand that moment. The sale of Salah was before Ousmane Dembélé went to Barcelona for over £100 million. Before the whole explosion of the football market with crazy sales. And, well, I insist, I practically had an agreement between Roma and Liverpool. What we did was to push to get as much as possible, because the player already knew he wanted to leave. Salah currently sits third amongst Liverpool's greatest ever goalscorers with 248 strikes across 411 appearances. He's behind only Roger Hunt, 285 goals, and Ian Rush, 346 goals. Both Salah and the Reds will be eager to bounce back to form this Sunday when Manchester United makes the trip to Anfield. The Egyptian forward has netted 11 times during his previous 13 Premier League encounters with United. Ryan Gravenberch not an injury concern for Liverpool. Ryan Gravenberch's fitness is not expected to be a concern for Liverpool despite being substituted at halftime during the Netherlands' 4-0 win over Finland. Gravenberch was brought off after 45 minutes in the Netherlands' comfortable victory in Amsterdam on Sunday, with Ronald Koeman's side already 3-0 up. Speaking after the game, Koeman explained that it came due to minor hamstring problems, though the player himself insisted it was a precaution. That led to doubts over Gravenberch being able to start when Liverpool host Man United on Sunday, but there is no sign he will be unable to. Speaking on YouTube, Lynch explained that the 23-year-old is considered fully fit and will resume training with the rest of Arne Slot's squad this week. The Netherlands acknowledge Gravenberch plays a lot for country, a lot for club, and any chance you can get to rest a 23-year-old player who gets through as much work as he does, they will take it, he said. So I think Liverpool will be pretty grateful for that, because of course he is their best no. 6. This update comes amid uncertainty over the fitness of Wataru Endo, who would have been among the choices to stand in for Gravenberch if he were to miss out. Endo did not join up with the Japan squad for their friendlies against Paraguay and Brazil due to a hamstring issue picked up in the 2-1 defeat to Chelsea last time out. He instead stayed behind to focus on his fitness, working in the gym at the AXA training center alongside the injured Alisson, as well as Curtis Jones, who did not get called up by England. Liverpool's injury list. Alisson, hamstring, out. Giovanni Leone, ACL, out. Ibrahima Konaté, quad, doubt. Stefan Bajcetic, hamstring, out. Wataru Endo, hamstring, doubt. Jadon Danns, hamstring, out. Alisson is a long-term absentee along with Giovanni Leone, Stefan Bajcetic and Jadon Danns. Ibrahima Konaté is another doubt for Sunday after withdrawing from the France squad due to a quad injury which forced him off against Chelsea. Slot could make changes to his starting lineup for the visit of Man United, with the likes of Jeremy Frimpong and Florian Wirtz able to return, while Joe Gomez could be an option to replace Konaté. Gravenberch has started every game in the Premier League and Champions League so far this season bar the opening day of the league campaign, for which he was suspended. Liverpool could look to Nottingham Forest's Murillo after losing Mark Guéhi advantage. Liverpool do not hold an advantage in the race to sign Mark Guéhi in 2026, despite having an agreement in place in September, rousing the cop understands. The Reds almost signed Guéhi on transfer deadline day, with a contract agreed for the Crystal Palace captain. After Palace pulled the plug at the last moment, some have suggested that Liverpool are clear frontrunners to bring him in on a free transfer. However, while Liverpool are firmly in the race for Guéhi, RTK have been told that they are by no means favourites at this stage. Instead, sources have described the situation as a slate being wiped clean for the centre-back, who will have numerous options within the Premier League and across Europe. While this does not mean Guéhi will absolutely not join Liverpool, the Reds are understood to be assessing other options, including Murillo of Nottingham Forest. Liverpool must start again in Mark Guéhi saga. Liverpool may still attempt to get ahead of the chasing pack and sign Guéhi in January. However, the player himself is understood to be keen on assessing his options next summer. As transfer expert Graham Bailey exclusively tells RTK, this will at best mean Liverpool having to renegotiate the contract they agreed with Guéhi last month, and at worst will mean he goes elsewhere. It was confirmed to me that the slate was wiped clean for Guéhi, Bailey says. When he didn't move in January, it was a case of back to your starting blocks. It starts now. Liverpool don't have an advantage necessarily. That doesn't mean they won't get him. They might also look to do it in January, but he's expecting to move on a free and Palace think he will as well. If anyone tries in January, it'll most likely be Liverpool. I suspect the contract they agreed in the summer will be somewhat less than he'll be getting on his next deal. That's part of the reason they wanted to do it in the summer. I wouldn't say it's pointing towards Liverpool missing out just yet, but I do wonder if he looks abroad. Asked about Liverpool's interest in Bayern Munich's Dayot Upamecano, Bailey says that while the Reds are keeping abreast of the Frenchman's situation, sources feel he is more likely to stay put as things stand. The journalist also suggests Murillo could come into play. Upamecano, there's still a belief from German sources that he'll probably sign a new deal there, but you never know, Bailey says. Liverpool are assessing the centre-half market. There's loads of them out there. Murillo's a fascinating one. Let's see what happens around Forest. He's someone we know Liverpool like. How likely is a January deal for Liverpool? Given the long-term injury sustained by Giovanni Leone, and the current poor form of Ibrahima Konaté, many Liverpool supporters would like to see a centre-back brought in as soon as possible. And according to Bailey, there is a chance the Reds enter the market in the new year if the right opportunity arises. January is obviously very hard to do anything, but they're assessing the market, he says. I do think we'll see them do 2 centre-halves in 2026. I think they would like to do one in January, but they won't do it for the sake of it. If they could get a Guéhi or an Ordóñez, though, they likely will try. Murillo is a likely mover in 2026, but let's see. There could be another new manager at Forest and he could love it. Liverpool's chances of signing Guéhi are not as strong as they once looked, but that only opens the door for someone else to walk through. Fabrizio Romano shares how Ruben Amorim really feels about Manuel Ugarte behind the scenes. Manuel Ugarte has endured a mixed start to the season, which has led to speculation over his future at Manchester United. During the latter stages of the summer transfer window, Manchester United were scouring the market for a new midfielder with links to Carlos Baleba and Adam Wharton. Heading into 2026, signing a new midfielder is a top priority for United, and that spells potential bad news for Manuel Ugarte. Reports claimed United were open to selling Ugarte this summer, but the Uruguay international ended up staying put in Manchester. But his performances this season have not earned him a starting spot under Ruben Amorim, and now speculation about an exit is ramping up again. Ruben Amorim's stance on Manuel Ugarte's future. One of the main frustrations around Ugarte this season is that Amorim has repeatedly put him above Kobbie Mainoo in his pecking order. With Casemiro also in the final year of his contract, it feels as though United are on the verge of a midfield overhaul. Man United's Carlos Baleba summer transfer truth amid Antoine Semenyo contract update. Manchester United continue to be linked with a number of incoming signings despite spending over £200 million bolstering their forward line in the summer transfer window. Brighton and Hove Albion's Carlos Baleba was linked with a move to Manchester United in the summer transfer window. Manchester United supporters have been told the truth behind the club's interest in Brighton Hove Albion midfielder Carlos Baleba in the summer, following an interview with Seagulls owner Tony Bloom. Ruben Amorim's side were heavily linked with a Cameroonian midfielder and are big admirers of the 21-year-old, with United's engine room in need of improvement. He's not the only Premier League star to have been linked with a move to Old Trafford, with Bournemouth star Antoine Semenyo also a player of interest in recent months. Man United Carlos Baleba transfer truth. Brighton chairman Bloom has played down any suggestion of there being a transfer saga concerning United and Seagulls midfielder Baleba. United have been strongly linked with the Cameroonian in recent months, but their Premier League rivals are understood to have set an asking price in excess of the fee they received for Moises Caicedo from Chelsea. Bloom says he gave Ruben Amorim's side a straightforward answer when they asked about signing Baleba last summer. In an interview with the Argus, Bloom said, "I don't think Baleba was a saga. There was interest from Manchester United, and we said that he wasn't available this summer and they went away. So we've had many bigger sagas in the past. But Carlos Baleba, his improvement has been immense. Massively important player to this football club, and just delighted that he's with us for this season." The men says, It's no secret that Manchester United want to bolster their midfield options as they search for a Casemiro successor, and just because they were unable to sign Saliba in the summer, that does not rule out a move in the future. That being said, the need to comply with PSR will likely rule out a January approach. Antoine Semenyo contract update. Bournemouth star Antoine Semenyo reportedly has a release clause in his contract with the Cherries which could pave the way for a move to Old Trafford. Talksport say both Man United and Spurs held talks with the forward last summer before he signed a new deal with Andoni Iraola's side. The exact details of the release clause are not yet known, but Bournemouth reportedly value Semenyo in the region of £75 million. The Men says, Semenyo would be another brilliant addition for United, but having spent £200 million in the recent summer transfer market, they had to offload some players in order to make room for the Ghana international. He's also expected to be in high demand, and United would need to offer playing assurances. Bournemouth winger Antoine Semenyo has been in sensational form this season.